Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you guys are doing amazing. This week I had a short little reminder in my brain, I guess. So I was like, why not just talk about it? Hopefully I make this short and I don't end up talking forever, but y'all know me. Anyway, I saw this quote that said the problems we don't fix become our limits. And I wanted to talk about this for a second because as someone who has experienced this in life, I'm telling you that it's very, very true. And I also feel like it's a common mistake that people make. People often think that as they continue to hit and reach new heights, that the problems and different things that they faced will just leave them. And the thing is, it's great to hit new heights and excel and whatnot, but you can't forget where you come from and you can't forget what is. A lot of times people think that if they achieve enough things, if they do enough, if they make enough money, if they obtain someone, all their problems will go away. The reality is your problems in life, even the ones that have been there since you were young, they're there. They're sometimes in the background, sometimes in the foreground. There are some of those problems that you can resolve, and then there's some that you can't. And the ones that you can resolve, you know better within you if they are something you can resolve. And you also know there's some conditions that just can't be changed, and you also know that better within you. But for the problems that can be resolved, I think that it's incredibly important that you take the initiative to do them. Because the thing is, no matter how successful you become, no matter how far you go, there will always be that same problem that limits you down, that same thing that comes and takes you down. And your problem could even be yourself. A lot of times, the way that you think, you have a negative thought pattern of thinking and you think that, well, I still became successful in life, despite not believing in myself. These things come up again and again and again. They come up in your relationships. If you're someone who lacks the ability to work hard, there's so many people that, yes, they do end up successful. They don't work hard, they end up successful. But that doesn't mean that hard work is just limited to your success or to you making money. There can come a time where, you're in a relationship or something as such. And if you're not someone who works hard, you're someone who lacks initiative, it's going to cause problems. There's some people that are just naturally like that. They lack initiative. They lack the ability to work hard. And that isn't me saying that to be mean. It's just that there's some things that you have to grow discipline within yourself about. There's some things that you have to obtain and work on getting to just become a better person and become more well-rounded. And if you know that your problem lies in not being able to attain those things, then that's what you need to focus on first. Because a lot of times, people want to blame their circumstances and where they ended up. And it's true, life chances are a thing. It is a thing. Some people are born with a lot. Some people are not born with as much. Some people are born with more problems. Some people are not born with as many. We're not going to deny that, okay? But the thing is that there's some people whose life circumstances are changeable and they can be changed and they don't choose to change them. It's just convenient for them to blame the way that their life is going on their circumstances. And this can even go for your relationships. If you have a very, very, difficult relationship with your parents, you have a hard time getting along with them, this is something that's going to come up over and over again, okay? And I don't say that to be mean. It's just true. It's going to come up over and over again. It's going to come up when you decide you want to leave for college. It's going to come up when you decide you want to get married. It's going to come up when you have a family. It's going to come up when you have kids. These things, they matter. They matter. And that's why it's very important that you try your best to sort through your problems in life as you go through them, instead of just adding things to your life thinking that that will take away the problem that exists. If you have a very, very difficult relationship with your siblings, with your parents, whatever, you think that, if I get married and I move out, things are going to change. Not really. You might be exposed to them a little bit less. But when time comes and you have a family and you have kids, you're going to notice that those stark differences come up over and over again, or those difficulties will come up over and over again. And if your problem is you have a problem with lacking discipline, with not working as hard, lacking initiative, whatever that circumstance might be, if you are your own problem, you know good and well you are deep down if you are. That's the first thing I'll say. A lot of times people like to blame their circumstances, but deep down, they always do know it's them. That's the first thing. The second thing, no matter how successful you think that you can become, no matter how much successful maybe you already are now, that doesn't mean that that problem's going to go away. It really doesn't. People really think that if they just attain financial freedom, they get enough money, they, start saying that they're super disciplined, the problem is going to vanish. That's fine. It's fine. It's good. Be disciplined in areas of your life. Go hustle. Become financially free. Whatever your dreams are, go do them. But don't forget that that area of your life still exists. Because sometimes people don't like to focus on the problem, they just like to progress on other areas outside of their life that are not the problem. And then when that same problem comes down and hinders them, they sometimes feel like, a failure, or they feel like they're having imposter syndrome. Like, oh, I succeeded so far in different areas of my life. I'm so successful in my career. I'm so successful financially. I'm so successful physically. I'm so successful this. I'm so successful that. Why am I still failing? You're not failing. It was just one thing that was going on in the background of your life and you didn't pay attention to it. And I'm a firm believer that you should nourish and pour into all areas of your life, become a well-rounded person. But nourishing and pouring into all areas of your life is also acknowledging that you cannot pour at the same rate in every area. You can have it all, but not at once. Like, you probably will not be able to pour your best 24/7 in your relationships, and also financially, and also in your business, and also with your parents, and also in your personal life. And also, like, it's not always that feasible. But one of the important places to pour is where the problem is, whether that's resolving it, putting in the time to resolve it. If that means leaving, then leaving. If that means communicating, then communicating. I once read this tweet, and I think I heard a podcast on it, and it talked about how the difference between someone successful and someone who's not as successful is the hard conversations they have. Because someone who sits there and thinks for months and months and months and months and months and plots out to have a hard conversation is just wasting time. As compared to the person that is successful, they do many, many hard conversations. They have a hard conversation coming up, within 2 hours, they get it done and they move on to the next one. And I found that to be very true. Life is made up of a bunch of hard conversations with people, with your relationships, whatever it is, a bunch of hard negotiations, whether that's at work, like a bunch of hard things, okay? Life is made up of a bunch of hard conversations. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, sometimes the relationship ends, sometimes it doesn't. Whatever it is, this is what inherently life is made up of. And when you spend 2-3 months just plotting, thinking, I'm gonna have the hard conversation, I'm gonna have it, and you don't have it, you're still dangling in the same spot with somebody. To progress and to move forward in life with problems, especially with problems in relationships, you're gonna have to talk about it. There's literally no point in being a child and being a kid and giving silent treatments, acting like, I don't know how to say this without sounding mean, just like acting like a child, like a baby. Like, when something is hard, okay, guess what? It's hard for everybody. Like, when there's difficult conversations, hard circumstances, there's no point in complaining about it. There's no point in throwing a fit, holding a grudge. I don't like to be with people that hold grudges, that are all like stubborn and whatnot. Like, it's okay to feel hurt. There's a difference between feeling hurt and holding a grudge. Feeling hurt is saying, whatever you did, it hurt me, and et cetera, et cetera. And then you move forward trying to help someone, trying to fix the hurt. Grudge is like, I don't want to talk to you, I'm giving you a silent treatment. Or it's even just holding it in your heart in a negative way and not being mature enough to talk about it in some circumstances. And everyone has their own definitions. But I just feel like there's no point in that. A lot of times, these hard conversations, they're here to help propel and move you forward in your relationships. And if you get so caught up and so caught in thinking about, I felt this way, this person felt that way, or complain about this, complain about that, the way you feel is valid, right? It is. But what do you really want to do going forth? Like, if you really want to, mend ties, mend relationships, fix things, fix ties of kinship, you're going to have to talk. Sitting there in your bedroom and being like, I'm upset, I don't want to talk about it. Like, it's not going to do anything. And that's the thing. Some people, they genuinely lack the ability to have good and hard conversations. It's a skill. It's a skill in life to learn how to have those conversations, because you're going to have a lot of them. And that's something that you should work on developing if you don't have it already. Have those hard conversations. Don't sit here worrying so much. How is someone going to react? How is someone not going to react? We can't control what people do, but we can try our best to put forth hard conversations in an easy way, in a respectful way, in a listening way, and make sure that you're listening. It's not just your opinion. No, put a hard conversation forth in a respectful and listening and caring way, and work through it. You're only going to get better. Your life's problems are only going to get better if you work through them. If you try to dub them down and ignore them, or think that they're gone because you've attained a certain level of success, they're going to keep coming up over and over and over again. And it might make you feel like you're failing, or you're not good enough, or things like that. And we want to avoid those emotions, because you are not those things. But the problem is, a lot of times when you have a lot of avoidance from things that happen in your life, or from problems that are ongoing, it can make people feel that way. All in all, I know that it's hard. Not everything is in our control. Not every single problem is resolvable. But what is, we should always focus on. The best way to attain new heights, to excel even further, sometimes is by subtracting from your life, is by taking out the problems or by resolving problems, by fixing out whatever is going through within yourself or through within people, fixing your relationships, and most importantly, subtracting your bad habits and adding good ones. That is what's really going to help you attain new heights and stay on those new heights, not fall. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. I hope this reminder was helpful in some way. Please take care of yourself. Have a great rest of your day. Assalamu alaikum.